So what I want to do is I want you all to help me welcome to the stage someone that I'm super proud and privileged to introduce you to. All of us know that we're designed for more, designed for greatness. How many of you see that when you see his story?
The last incident that happened in our family was my dad came home one night from work, real drunk, fine tactics, had me lay on the bed, 90-degree angle, so my butt was hanging off, door shut, so my back was facing the door, and I waited there for 45 minutes. And it was one of the worst beatings I ever got. We ended up leaving Buffalo, New York, and we went to a small town in Brazil, Indiana. And like I said, about 5 black families. But I didn't realize I had a severe learning disability. Because like when I was growing up, I never went to school. I'm cheating on every test because they wanted to put me in a special school. You're about to be, have a nice title on you for the rest of your life. My first car I ever got was a Brown citation. I had to get out of here, let me join the military. On the third chance, I had 6 months to pretty much study for this test. So I had 6 months, 4 hours a month to study. And what the tutor realized was I can't retain anything from all the toxic stress. I don't know if it's a learning disability or what. So how I learned was I had to get spiral notebooks. And literally, if I had a manual, I had to write down every single word of the manual. So what may take you an hour to learn would take me 6 or 7 days to learn, and just literally write it down. So in special ops, what gets everybody is the water, and being that there's only 1% of all special operations that are black, had no idea at 19 years old this was the case, they give you this warning order. So I'm a senior in high school, and I'm going through this warning order. I'm on the bottom of the pool, literally walking like this. 70% of African Americans have heavier bone density. They get there the first day, second day, third day. They put 280s on your back. And the whole idea is you're supposed to go down to the deep end with all this crap on. You take your fins off your feet, put them on your hands, and this is all you can do to get up. The doc calls me in the office and says, hey, David, when there's sickles, stroke, heart attack, sudden death, all those great things that can happen to you. They didn't know if this sickle cell was going to kill me. You never want to go back to being uncomfortable again. I want to get back in the water ever again so I can leave training. So I sat there and I said, you know what? The CEO bid off on it, and I never quit, but he gave me a medical out of pararescue. But you all know I quit, didn't want to go back in the water. So in that time frame of 4 years, that became $290. So I'm making about $1,000 a month, spraying for cockroaches, and I'm working from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm driving home, sipping my shake, eating my donuts, chilling out. I get home this day, my routine was to get home, walk in the door, turn the TV on, walk in the back, start taking a shower. And wet and sandy, getting cold, jackhammers, snot bubbles, chafed up. I knew that no one was coming back to help me. I said, he goes, man, you're fat and you're black. I said, man, you're an observant motherfucker. I got my chocolate milkshake and walked out. I go back to work, and I'm spraying for cockroaches at Ecolab, and I'm chilling out. So I'm spraying for cockroaches, and my brownie falls, because they had some good-ass brownies. So I pick up my brownie, and as I pick it up, I felt stuff, and I keep my head focused on the brownie. I went back to the recruiter, and I went to Buds, Navy SEAL training, getting ready to start second phase, break my kneecap. Roll back day 1, week 1. Stress fractures don't heal really well. He ended up dying Wednesday night of pulmonary edema. So, when I got through with Hell Week, my stress fractures were so bad, and I realized I can't go through training. I need to get rolled again. So at this Hell Week, I said to myself, man, I can't even walk. Heard about it, went home, Googled ways to raise money, Googled races, all this other stuff. What came up at 250, hadn't put running shoes on in over a year, was a race called the Badwater 135. I called him up on a Wednesday, and he says, you only have 2 more races to qualify for my Badwater race, where you run around a 1-mile track for 24 hours. Haven't run it in basically a year. I've been through Ranger School, Delta Force selection twice, 3 Hell Weeks, all this crap. This is the worst pain I've ever been in to this day. I did 101 miles in 19 hours. If you have the answers to those questions of why the hell am I out here, and you give it a quick answer, the brain starts shutting up because it knows why we're doing what we're doing. I started figuring these things out in my life. So basically, I was sick as hell, and I didn't get into all of this. I studied about being a practitioner. I put my mind in hell, and I realized how it was thinking. And when I got to about 33, 34 years old, I started being extremely sick. When you have an ASD, and so ASD is atrial septal defect, a lot of us are born with a hole in our heart. When we get to a certain age, it closes. So the oxygenated blood would be deoxygenated, and so the bad blood was going to my body, long story short. And that's how I was doing everything. That's something, people. We are leaving a lot on the table. If you believe that, it starts to become true.
It's stuff like, what are you asking?
So for a period of time, looking in that mirror every day, you can't lie to yourself, man. That dirty bathroom mirror that with all that daggone toothpaste scum and whatever on it, it started gnawing at me so horribly bad that it wouldn't allow me to live anymore. So when I tell my story, I tell it on a very surface level. I had to go down in the dungeon, the sewer where my mind used to be at, and talk to that guy. Because I wanted to live my life in a way that when I died, I was proud of myself.
So what would you say, because a lot of times we talk about inspiration, I say a lot of times motivation is temporary, inspiration lasts forever.
Right.
And then there's a lot of words thrown around. You had to find an opportunity to lead yourself at some point.
Leadership is being very uncomfortable all the time. I need to take every excuse that they may have away from them. Every single day, I'm going back in the lab again, man.
And one of the things that we define on it is accepting the responsibility, realizing that once you accept that responsibility, it has weight.
They get praised for scoring a touchdown. That lineman doing all the work. Is you have to believe that you are here on this earth. I was thinking, why the hell did God put me here? If you have that mentality, you could be nothing. It's a beautiful world, because like the 40% rule. We all live in this world where our brains are keeping us in this box. Outside that box, man, God gives you a shovel. That's not fun. But when you dig your own path to all kind of stuff that's unknown. But you first have to figure out your equation.
And then we have something to contribute. But what would you suggest or recommend for anyone in here that they're on that tipping point of breaking through?
Right.
They're on that tipping point. Because right now, we have this incredible environment where the energy's high, people's mindset's right. In the military, their path to their more, their path to their better.
Right now, a lot of you right now can be motivated as hell, not being driven or obsessed. This motivation fades. And motivation is at the all-time high when your bills are paid, when your wife or husband is good, when everything is good, you're motivated. We all walk around with these phones, computers. I learned I was leaving a lot on the table. And that's what scares me the most. And what scares me the most is I believe that God, in my own mind, I believe that God had this big chart in heaven. He rips it down, throws that paper to the side. And now when I go to heaven, what I want God to look at me and say is, as you were living, I'm the all-knowing man. All I was doing was building bigger, stronger, faster quitters.
We talked basketball when we first met, right? Mm-hmm. And then 2 years later, he's a defensive player of the year.
That's how you open up different doors of your life. Because all these things that we're afraid of, they're doors that can possibly lead you to a whole other world.
We talked about it backstage, and I think that authenticity is because judgment runs so rampant in the world, and it's usually about the person that's judging rather than the person that they are judging. But we talk about authenticity it's almost like a buzzword now or a cliche word in terms of, let's be authentic. Like what is your views on authenticity?
It's being able to know that your life is jacked up, that we all come from a past that maybe bad or good, and to own it, not to be ashamed of it.
Because everyone's gone through something.